subbies and friends, this is Lady T, and today I'm going to be talking about hair texture. Okay, this week was a very interesting week because in this 1 week I have had 2 comments about my hair texture that were a bit interesting and got my mind moving and thinking. The first comment happened while I was talking to a friend and we were just in the middle of a regular conversation, and then she stops and says, "How'd you get your hair that way?" Now when I was talking to her, my hair was in like a twist out, but it was kind of like a puffy twist out where I let my hair strands kind of go into their natural puffiness, because if you've watched my videos for a while, you know I really don't have thick hair. I get my volume from my frizz and my puffy cotton here, you know. It was more of a twist out that I allowed to fluff up. So I basically proceeded to explain how I got my hair to look the way it did, which was I co-washed my hair, added some leave-in conditioner, placed my hair within 2-strand twist, and then took the 2-strand twist out right after it dried. So what I was left with was a nice big fluffy hairstyle. But it gave my hair a little bit of definition, and because my hair was able to slowly shrink up, it had some of a curl definition to it. It didn't look completely like a frizz ball. It looked more like a curly frizz ball. So she waits for me to explain, and then when I'm finished, she immediately says, "Oh, well, you got that good hair." You know, I was kind of put off by that comment because we all know when someone says you have that good hair, what that means. It's just the whole mindset that drives me crazy. This mindset that people feel, one, that it's a compliment to tell someone they have good hair, and 2, that it's okay. Like, it's like, one, it's not a compliment. As much as I want to pretend I don't know what that good hair is, we all know when someone says you have that good hair, what they mean. They mean a curl pattern that is usually curly, less dense, fine, maybe silky fine, or just has a silky, more European Puerto Rican look about it. In fact, speaking of Puerto Rican, I actually had someone, which was a young kid, say to me, "I love your hair out." He was like, "It looked like you're Puerto Rican." And I'm like, "No, I'm black." You know, and I'm always quick to say that. I don't go and say, "Oh, I know I got that good hair." I don't feed into that because I actually think it's very offensive. I think it's funny because it's odd because these comments are coming from black people, you know, and I think because people are black, they think that it's not offensive to say it, you know. But when people say you got that good hair, to me, especially after I explain how I got my hair a certain way, I assume that if you're saying I got that good hair, then what do you think of the person who has the hair that's different from mine, which is probably either yourself or people that the average black girl, you know, who has the kinkier, dense, coarse, tightly kinkied hair that may not have as much as a curl pattern, may not have as much shine, may not have as much silkiness to it. When people make that "you got that good hair" comment to me, I don't take it as a compliment at all. I don't. I do not take it as a compliment. I take it as foolery. I say, okay, here we go with this crap again. That's exactly what my thought is. You know, this mindset. It's almost like this is the best way to compare it. It's almost like, say I was a white person, right? And I worked around a bunch of white people and they saw a black person and they were saying inside white jokes about, you know, black people, but they thought I was going to think it was funny, but I actually have a black boyfriend. You know what I mean? It's like you think because I look a certain way, you're assuming I'm going to take certain things, I'm going to think like you, or I'm going to take certain things you say as cute or funny, and it's not true. You can't prejudge people and think that they have a certain texture that you saying, "Oh, you got that good stuff," like it's an inside thing. I can say it to you because you got that good hair. You know, and it's just, I personally find it annoying, and I really hope that if you're someone who says that to people, you would think twice before you do it. Now my thing is this: I'm not going to solve the hair problem, the good hair problem in our community with one video, but one thing I would suggest to people who feel inclined to say that stuff, who feel like it's okay to go up to people and just say you got that good hair, or you got that nappy hair, or you got that, you know, just think it's cute to go around judging people's hair texture. I want to say to you, sugarcoat it a little bit, cover it up, because you don't know, the next girl you go up to may actually correct you and say, I don't appreciate you saying that to me, or I don't think that that's appropriate, or I don't feel that anybody has good hair. Because honestly, that's what I wanted to say to that woman when she said, you got that good hair though. I wanted to say, what does that mean? Because I always want to put that person on the spotlight deep down, because I want them to realize how silly that comment is. Even though, the reason I don't do it is because, one, sometimes you're just not in the mood for confrontation, and two, you know that the person doesn't mean harm. I know that woman was not trying to be offensive or even say anything bad about another hair texture, but you are. That statement says a lot about you, and it says a lot about your mindset. We can't help how we feel a lot of times, because our thoughts are developed over time and from the information we have learned over the years, but you can't help what you say a little bit more. So when you say things like that, it just makes me feel like I want to correct you. And what I'm saying is, the person who really just feels the need to go up to people and touch their hair and tell them how beautiful their hair is, and what texture, that they have a texture that they prefer, or they like their texture better than others, they like one particular texture better than another, I would say this: be more descriptive. Instead of saying that common, infamous, cliche phrase of "you got that good hair," you should say, "I like your hair because it's shiny," or "I like your hair because it's curly." If that's what you wear, because to me, when people say that good hair, it's based on those attributes: curly hair, silky hair, shiny hair, hair that flows more like it's a looser curl pattern. It's not that tightly kinky. If you just can't help yourself and you just have to express how much you love someone's texture, I would say, instead of saying you got that good hair, you know, that good stuff, you should say something like, you know, I love your hair because it's curly. I love the curl pattern. I love how shiny it is. How did you get it shiny? You know, how do you know that person's hair is naturally shiny? You know, they may have a technique that you can learn from. If someone wants to share their hair tip, listen, and don't assume because their texture is not exactly like yours that your hair can't do it, because it's amazing what your hair can do when it's wet and with the right products. But like I said, if you want to give somebody advice, or you want to give them a great compliment on their hair, be more specific. Don't use general terms, especially not the good hair one, because guess what? There's a lot of women who feel very insecure about their hair. And when those type of statements keep going and persist within our community, within the natural hair community, it just discourages girls who have the kinky hair texture. They already, a lot of them, if you look around YouTube or even around your neighborhood, a lot of those girls feel very insecure about their hair. So those little comments, like "you've got that good hair," to the girls who might have that quote unquote mixed looking hair, does not help the situation. It really doesn't. And I don't know too many people, and I'm just speaking for myself. I don't know everyone, and I've never asked anyone how they feel when they have kind of that looser curl pattern and people say to them, "you have that good hair." Do it make you feel good about yourself? Because me, it doesn't make me feel good at all. It actually makes me feel sad for the person talking, and also the women that don't have the hair texture that is often praised. It makes me feel bad, because it's like, that's the real Afro-textured hair. That's what Africans' hair look like, the kinkier, less curl pattern hair. So if you're not liking that, then what does that say about you? And you look at more black than me, and you probably have hair just like them. And it's like, that makes me think you don't even like yourself, because often the girls who say you have that good hair are the ones who have the opposite of this hair. And I'm not saying the same thing, and it's not this hair, because there's girls with way more looser curl than this. I actually think I have a very kinky hair. The only thing that makes my hair look silky is the fine hair strands. I have very fine hair strands, but my hair texture is kinky. It curls up very tightly. If I was to wash my hair and not do anything to it, you would just have a big afro, a big tight afro. Okay, but whatever texture you prefer is your preference, and there's nothing wrong with that. But just make sure when you're going up to strangers and people you really don't know, or even people you do know, just try to be more aware that they may not find that as a compliment to say you have good hair. They may actually find that offensive. Just keep that in mind. So just be more careful, I would say, and tactful with your words, because I can't stand it when someone says you have that good hair, and I really can't stand it when they say it after I'm trying to explain something that I was hoping they could, use, and they just dismiss it because they have their mind made up that their hair texture is limited and they can't do certain things with it, and it's sad because there's this negative image of this of hair. Like, I've been seeing a lot of videos on YouTube popping up about women feeling like there's texture wars, and you know that one texture does better on YouTube or in the internet or on TV or in the world than another hair texture. And the reality is, it's the truth. Okay, when people feel like it's okay to walk up to people and tell them you got that good hair, or you got better hair, you got that good stuff, you know, and like it's cute, I can see why these women feel that way. You think they don't realize that? And I'm sure they feel the same way because of all the imagery that's around the world and how people react. If someone's all excited about a hair texture that's silky and curly, and then you don't have that texture, of course it's gonna make you feel even worse about your hair. I mean, you gotta be a very strong woman or person to just overlook that and still feel great about your hair when your hair does not look like what you see on YouTube or what you see being glorified every day. And you know, one thing I really would like to know, especially for the girls with the fine, curly, quote unquote good hair, how do you feel? How often do people say that to you, that you got that good hair? Like, have you ever tried to explain something to people and they just completely dismiss what you're saying, and it goes in one ear out the other, and they just say at the end of your statement, they conclude, well, you got that good hair, you know, or I couldn't go natural because my hair wouldn't look like yours, or, you know, do you run into people like that who often compare their hair texture to yours, or they feel discouraged because their hair texture doesn't look like yours? And now I'm going to ask the people on the opposite end of the stick, those with the kinkier, you know, I don't know what they call it, 4C hair, you know, but the thicker, Afrocentric, kinky, coarse, no curl pattern having hair texture. If you're one of those girls, let me know what you feel. I've been noticing a lot more videos coming up on YouTube of women feeling a lot of discrimination towards the 4C hair texture, the kinkier, coarser, non-curl pattern having hair texture. And I want to know what y'all think, and I want y'all to say to me how y'all feel. And honestly, do you pick up on people having like a bias toward the curlier hair texture, or do you feel like people don't pay your hair any attention, or you may not get as many compliments as a girl whose hair texture is more curly? And in fact, I want y'all to let me know, what do you feel about your hair texture? If I could have chose my hair, it wouldn't be like mine. It would be similar to mine, but it would be thicker. It would be having a lot more density and a lot more strength. And then I would be happy. I'm happy with my hair, but I would love a more dense hair texture where I didn't have to manipulate my hair so much to get it to look thick, you know. But anyways, we all have issues with our hair. We all have things we wish we had more of or less of, and that's fine. But let's not impose our own insecurities on other people. And let's be just a little bit more responsible with our comments, because there is a lot of sensitivity around the good hair thing. And every girl with the hair texture that you might like may not find it as a compliment when you say they have that good hair. Okay, well, that's it for today. I would love to hear your feedback. Let me know what you think. I feel like this is a hot topic. I feel like it's a lot more people opening up about how they feel about their hair texture, and also how they feel other people feel about their hair texture. So let's share. Please do not forget to like this video. Thank you for commenting. Have a good day.